Hi, you guys. Just hold on a second. I think I got it. Hey, welcome to the show. I am almost live, kids. Just hold on a second. Hi, everyone. This is Christine Demorier, and today's date is the March 16th, 2026. And I'm just making sure everything is tidied up and rolling here on my end. Hold on a sec, guys. I think so. I'm running through my list. And full video with chat. Okay. So, you guys, if you can hear me, go ahead and pop into the chat room and say your hellos while I'm still dinking around here, making sure everything is going okay. Yep. Okay. So something funny is happening here. Yeah. I don't know. If you can hear me, guys, just go ahead and let me know that we are live. I'm checking in here to see as well if it's working. Yep, it's working. I can't see the chats. Hi, everyone. Okay. I can't see the chats going on in my, I've got two PCs here and I'm still trying to figure all this out. All right, so today is March 16th, 2026. We're just gonna like rinse and repeat the beginning of this. I promise you I will get better at this as I do this more. So a couple of announcements before we jump into today's topic, which is about reincarnation and past lives and soul contracts. Which I'm just going to start to open up this dynamic space where we dive into what it really means to be spiritual beings having a human experience and use different language around that. Okay. So before that happens, I want to invite you into the chat room here right on YouTube. And in this space, you guys can ask me questions and share in this conversation, all right? Coming up tonight, and I'm doing this every single Monday, I am holding a remote healing gathering, and it's a community space where you come together with me over the phone. And I facilitate a remote healing session. I've been doing these for decades now, and it's really one of the places that brings me the greatest joy to be able to be with all of you in that way and to help facilitate, I don't know, really simple yet profound things like calming down your sensory nervous system and calming down these big emotions that are moving through our lives on a regular basis, calming down your mental field, and just people come in for health issues, for anything, loss. A lot of there seems to be an uptick in transitions on the planet right now, and so there's a lot of loss. I work a lot with those that have passed to the other side as well as those that are still here. So, which ties seamlessly into this conversation, doesn't it? About reincarnation and past lives and these soul contracts that we do have with one another. So, I will get that link. Welcome to the show. Oh no, it's now. See, I'm listening to myself on my other PC. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on a second, guys. So I'm going to get that link into the chat room now, and then we're going to dive in and we're going to have a chat about this. wonderful conversation about reincarnation. Yes. Okay. So you got, maybe I'll put it in at the end of the show. All right. So remote healing sessions are every Monday for about a half hour, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And half hour, amazing things happen during these sessions. And let's talk about reincarnation. Okay. I wanted to post a poll and ask people what their opinion was about the idea of reincarnation, what they thought about it, and if it was even a possibility. And past lives, people are fascinated by that topic, and it ties into reincarnation. So the thing that is happening right now in our society is that there is a movement inside of science and physics and neuroscience that it is supportive of reincarnation, as we are beginning to understand on a more personal, intimate level that is cognitive. It's getting into our conversations, our nomenclature, that we are energy in motion. We cycle back around, and energy can't be created or destroyed. It only cycles back around. It repurposes itself. And we can relate that to the animal kingdom, but because we're so inundated right now and not necessarily being connected to the earth itself the way that we used to, just because of tech and all things technology, and where our focus is going, we've kind of lost this identifier with the natural ebb and flow of energy, and that it cycles back around, it repurposes itself, it compresses down so intensely, it becomes matter. And then at some point it decompresses, and it becomes energy again, and it enters back into the field only to compress down and down and down and down, right? And become a human form again, or anything in our world. And so if energy cannot be created or destroyed, that means that we, us, me here, follows that same principle in physics. And therefore, it stands to reason that reincarnation is a natural byproduct of that. Reincarnation is a real thing. Past lives equal reincarnation, right? And how many of us, I remember the first time that I read, I think it was Dolores Cannon. It was her book that was called Jesus and the Essenes. And then after that was Brian Weiss's Many Lives, Many Masters. This was like way back when, early 2000s, when I read both of those books. And I was so excited at that point because what was being talked about was something that was not allowed to be talked about in my world. I'm 60. I'm a very proud 60-year-old woman. And when I was growing up, reincarnation was not discussed. It wasn't even an option that was on the table in my world. And I was raised in a hyper-Christian community, that, the normal Presbyterian community. But reincarnation was not a part of these holy books. It was kind of like one and done and hit the beach, and or one and done, and you don't get the pretty house. You have to. It's either heaven or hell, but it's like you're this one lifetime, and then you're wrapped and you're done. And given my ridiculous connection to all things Sixth Sense and that side of the veil. You know, I'm a walking, talking Sixth Sense human. Yeah, I just have my extra perceptory systems are moving all the time, and so all of the dreams and the experiences and seeing, you know, mediumship and seeing relatives who had passed, and then seeing seeing soul family and light beings around people, and having my own experience of past life memories and all this kind of stuff. It really was an exciting moment in my life that led to this. I don't know. It was like I was like a little puppy with a really wiggly butt. I was so excited about it, but I also had to hide these materials, these books that I found, you know, under the bed or somewhere, because it's still, you know, it wasn't embraced, and I am excited about where this conversation is going, because, you know, it leads us to the connections that we have in our lives. It leads us to awareness of the relationships that we have in our lives, and that they're not random, you know? So you know, you guys, if you believe in reincarnation, or if you're open to it, then it starts to open up your heart chakra, and it cracks it open because this is the piece I really want to bring into the conversation, which is soul contracts. When we are on the other side of life, we have something called planning time. And in that planning time, we sit with the people that it's like we move in these groups. And the groups can be quite large, you know, so you have your really tight group, and that might look like, let's not give it a number, but it's a pretty tight group. And then you move out to a larger group, and then you move out to a larger group. And inside of that is the massive totality of the quantum field. Okay, so you sitting with your group, you're making decisions about your next lifetime. You're making some pretty solid decisions about why it is that you're coming in, and the reasons why you're coming in, and what you're going to tackle. All right? Okay. And I will add to that in just a minute. And so somebody decides to be your mother. Another one of your soul family decides to be your sibling or your father or your best friend or your partner or your children. And on it goes. And you have conversations and you plan. What are you planning around? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So the planning stage is there. And around us are other partners in our soul family, and they're what I call the elders. The elders could be anybody from they're defined as angels, enlightened beings. Sometimes, you know, people will say, well, it's the alien race, or yeah, they are just a part of our tribe. And they know how difficult it can be to be in a one single lifetime here on the earth plane. And so lots of times they'll say to us, you know, why don't you just try not to eat the whole elephant on this round? Why don't you just grab a couple of things here, you know, because sometimes it can be very difficult here, right? We are faced with challenges on a regular basis around belief systems of what we can and we can't do, you know, who we can and we can't be, all that kind of stuff. So as we're making these decisions, I am going to bring this up, and I do think this conversation is going to go on for a while. As we're making these decisions, these decisions are sitting around something called sacred wounds. And sacred wounds are it's partially, it has to do with us being absolutely who we are, down to the very essence of our soul. These, and the ability to fully express it. All right. And when you think about all of the people in your life, just like right now, just think about your family and think about your life partner, think about your children, think about your friends, think about the people who are intimate in your life right now. Whether you're in a good place, you're not in a good place, just think about it for a second. Those connections. We have made a contract with every single one of those tight connections, largely due to the sacred wound that we carry, as well as their sacred wound that they carry. All right. And the expression of that divine essence at play in human form, we have either been on the giving or the receiving end of repression in some way, shape, or form, not being allowed to be who we are for whatever reason. Like, you guys, I'll give you an example. So this thing that I have with healing is it's an ism. And I do it all the time. And I do it all the time. And that ball, I don't have to go looking for that ball. That ball rolls up to my feet all the time. When I'm out and about, when I'm randomly, the people in my life who are a part of the seer work that I do and who have nothing to do with it. And we're connected through other ways, or they find me through people. I have had just recurrent dreams of this ability to heal. And it always is just energy running through my body. This is why I'm so excited about where everything is going with science. And it just runs from the core of me and it pulls out through my hands. Some of these dreams have been massively prophetic and wrapped around, it's past lives. And when we tap into the memory of a past life, we'll get the layout. And for me, it's inside of a church, and it's Catholic, and there's nuns involved, and there's a lot of these different symbolisms. But I think that many times in my life, I have either the church try to control this or define it, this gift that I have. And probably more than life, once I lost my life because of it, right? That's just one example, but this is my deep connection and awareness and understanding of my sacred wound. Okay, what do you do with that? Well, giving and receiving end of forgiving and being willing to receive forgiveness, and loving and being willing to give love. And this back and forth dynamic of looking at the people in our lives who we are in relationship with again. We're in relationship with them again. It is our tribe. It is our soul family. And what is it that we are giving and receiving as far as forgiving and as far as loving, And what are the whoopsie doodles we might have dropped in other lifetimes that's connected to repression of somebody's sacred wound, which is really the beautiful essence of the core of who they are, And where have, the dynamic back and forth that we play with one another and our relationships, it all comes back to being who you are without apology, which is dynamic and inclusive and kind and loving and creative, um, and inspiring, right? Easily able to forgive and easily able to love. It comes down to some really basic, simple premises. When we get close enough to reincarnation, and that we've been here before, and we've been here with this group, and we're going to do it again. Yeah, and again and again and again until we get it right. And getting it right means finding a way to support each other, uh, and knocking off, the kind of the whole kitchen sink starts to come out on this. Knocking off the blaming and knocking off the shaming and knocking off the feeling blamed and knocking off the feeling shamed, and getting our minds into this dynamic space that it's like at the intersection of life and death. We're dancing around, how is it that I can embody this? How, if I even allow myself, regardless of what's going on in your life right now, right? It doesn't matter the stuff that's going on in your life right now. Who's doing what or who's not doing what, and what you're doing or what you're not doing. What the future is bringing in. It's like how many, the drop-down list that we have of what our lives entails is usually pretty busy. And sometimes it's on a nice ebb and flow, and sometimes there's challenges, right? So, and the ebbing and the flowing, the challenges sit around the people that are make up our lives. It's a big component to our lives as people in relationship. If you take a beat and you take a breath and you come into alignment with just a thought about reincarnation, just a thought about your energy in motion, just let it be there. Just let this sink in for a second. How would it impact how you're relating to yourself and you're relating to other people? Would it impact it at all? Right? We can judge so deeply in looking at the world and just saying, everybody, just put down the baseball bats. Stop it. Stop it. It's like the thing that I've never understood about, and this is where I'm just dumb as a post, I think, very idiot savantish here, but I literally don't understand how we are judging each other, and there's just perpetual wars, right? And we're killing each other, and we're harming each other, judging each other. Killing of the spirit is killing nonetheless. People die of broken hearts. They die of exclusion. They die of separation and ostracization. That's a hard word to say, but they do. People do die of broken hearts. So the noise that's out there, and one of the reasons why I always just want to bring it home, because it starts first with us, right here in the very core of who we are. I'm trying to keep this super tight to the best of my ability, and hi to everybody who just joined the chat room. To the best of how we can show up ourselves and just let this idea of interconnectedness within the field itself. We are an active participant in the field, in the quantum field. That is the totality of this energy that's moving around. Our relationships are an active participant in the field, right? And so, the depth and the breadth of past lives and parallel realities, and it just goes, it's deep and vast as the ocean. It's a place where we can lose ourselves and get overwhelmed with that's too much information. Just bring it back here. If I'm energy in motion and I've had past lives and I'm in these relationships in my life for a very specific reason that has everything to do with forgiveness of others, forgiveness of self, and love, unconditional love of others and unconditional love of self. And all right, so you can park it there, right? And you can begin to interrelate with others with a new mindset, a new, viewfinder that you're putting up in front of your eyes, and things can change even in that one choice that you make to do that. Okay, you'll relate differently. You'll lean in differently. You'll have a different relationship with compassion and kindness. Patience will show up. Yeah. And I know that sacred wounds, the decoding of sacred wounds is a deeper conversation, and I'll probably just do an entire show on that. But they're highly active in our relationships. And we agree with one another to take on different roles for each other in order to support, the integration and the loving into life somebody's deep sacred wound, which is connected to the very beautiful core and essence of who they are in energy form, right? Yep. The reason why I want to get away from the word spirit is because that starts to get muddled in definition in religions and things like that. Your energy form, the genuine, beautiful expression of that, those that we are in relationship with, they are pushing up against, resisting of that, or we are pushing up against resisting of theirs. And also we are learning how to support. You can have the most Dickens of people in your life that have caused an inordinate amount of resistance. And guess what? It is possible that they agreed to play that role for you. Yeah, think about that for a minute. That they agreed to play that role for you. I love you so much, I'll do that for you. Right, that's an option. And when we even allow this to be a part of the conversation, we go, wait a minute. So you're my antagonist, right? And it's just kind of bringing these ideas to life, right? How many of you have run into people and you just have this immediate, wait a minute, I know you. It happens in all of our lives. There's this immediate recognition. I know you. And then usually after that, there's a lot of dreams. There's a lot of synchronicities that start to line up and roll together. It's because you're having a connection with somebody that you made an agreement with. What's the agreement? That's always the question, right? That's the golden egg. What's your agreement? What'd you come in to do? And how is it connected to your unfolding and your becoming? Right. Yeah, but that's a feeling. Those are resonance fields that come together. And it's a destiny point where you have a choice to make. And sometimes there are agreements that we've made that are not so fluffy bunny, and they don't feel so good. And inside of that, we have a choice to make too as well. You know, this whole entire topic, I live. It's like I live it like I breathe. I know it like I'm here, I don't know, sitting in this chair. It is an active part of my life. And everywhere I go and everyone I meet, I have this, I'm constantly just moving through resonance fields, and I am always paying attention just because it is a part of my innate soul's blueprint. You know, the energy of me is highly sentient. And I'm excited that I get to walk around like this more and more and more in my bones and be transparent about it, you know, and be relaxed around it. It's pretty extraordinary where we're going right now, you guys, in our evolution of consciousness. I'm going to jump in and say hello. Well, hi, Claire. It's good to see you. And Lisa is here. Hi, honey. I don't know if this thing has been refreshing. And okay, we're good. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask in the chat room. Yeah, there's something really big that is happening right now in the evolution of our consciousness, and it's not a country that's going to save this world. It's each one of us that's sitting inside of these countries, riddled around the world, where we come into deep awareness of this recycling process of reincarnation and the relationships that we have with one another, that they are deep and vast. And if that will allow us to relax our focus so much on the details that are going on in our life right now, right? That helps us relax. And get our butts away from victimization. Get our focus back out of the looping mechanisms that are sitting around. I can't believe that person did that to me, or I don't know. And it might be, you know, here justified, but still. If that is your entire focus, what I want you to add to that is opening yourself up to how many times have we potentially done this before? And are we doing it any better right now? I'm going to pause because that's a simple thought, but it's a powerful thought. How many times have we done this before? I can't believe you did this to me. Oh my God. Because of what you did, now I have to do this. I've had experiences in my life where my soul contracts have left me messes to clean up that I didn't know how I was going to pull it off. I could sit and blame. I feel victimized. I could turn around and I could victimize back, or I could take a beat, take a minute and say, wait a minute. Are we doing it better this time? Am I doing better this time? Can I handle this better this time? What am I missing? How many times have we done this before and that we're here right now and we're doing it again? What do we miss? You know? What I missed before. It's a simple thought, and it's a powerful one. It brings in an element of mindfulness that is really incredibly helpful and enlightening, because you start to see a pattern, and that pattern, once you understand it, and it's not just sitting right here in emotion, which is reactionary responses. It's the good stuff in relationship, and then it's the tough stuff in a relationship. And the good stuff, we want that to keep going and keep going and keep going. And the bad stuff, whatever, bad stuff, the hard stuff, when that starts to show up and there's friction between two people, we tend to focus on the friction and we want it to go away. And one way to help this along is to ask this question of, what are we missing? Wouldn't it be amazing if people could talk like this? What are we missing? What are we not doing? Why am I so reactionary? Or why am I blaming you? Or why do you feel like this is what you need to do? To have a transparent conversation about what is the emotional kick back and forth dynamic that's going on between two human beings. This is why we all can look at the rest of the world and say, God, it's going to hell. And whatever is moving is really kind of scary. And so it's a lot easier to externally focus out than it is to come back home and say, okay, let me look at myself. Look at myself in relationship with that person or this dynamic. Yeah? Right. Our divine expression, our divinity just means that we're connected to the field. It means that we're compressed energy. We're just smushed in here. Sometimes it just feels like it's just like the body is so restrictive in many ways, but this is what we got. This is what we're moving around with. And we're here to learn. We're here to express ourselves. We're here to be creative, to live our deep inspiration about the stuff that we want to be creative about. Everybody out there is different. I'm a healer. I'm a walking, talking, metaphysical librarian healer. I'm a philosopher. I geek out over the world of metaphysics and all things energy. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to help people understand some of these deep, deep concepts that ultimately, at the end of the day, will start to build bridges between families and communities that fall into inclusivity rather than practices of, there's a difference between, this is us and them territory. This is not, you're shifting to you and me. And that starts right at home with our deepest of relationships and our most intimate of relationships. We work towards forgiveness, and we work towards love. Yeah, I forgive you, I forgive myself, I love you, and I love myself. And I love the core essence of who I am. All right, so I'm going to shift this really just quickly to, how am I doing on time, you guys? Hold on a minute. Let me look. Great, Lee. Hi, baby. I'm glad you're here. And Denise, hi. What I miss, Denise, you say, what am I missing is a question I seem to ask often. Yeah, right. Let me bring this home a little bit for you guys. I have the honor and the privilege, but I'm going to say it. I deal with death all the time. All the time. Like, all the time. That is a ball. What I mean with like when people start chasing balls, I use this as an analogy. Don't go looking for the ball. If somebody is trying to force a square peg through a round hole, and they need to allow the time, let's say I'm working with clients, and they need to allow the time for this thing to grow, I will say, don't go looking for the ball. Let the ball roll up to your feet, and then you just bend over and you pick it up. Death finds me all the time. It doesn't matter where I am, and it has happened since I got here. So this is in the form of people who have recently passed. Also, it comes in different forms for me. I was visited all the time by those who had recently passed when I was a kid. And there wasn't a pocket of support for that because reincarnation was not a part of the conversation around my breakfast table with my beloved family, my beloved soul tribe. Okay? And so I am in constant conversation with decompressed energy matter. We are just compressed ad nauseum, ad nauseum. It's incredible that we have this body. It is incredible that our essence is sitting in the core of this. It's remarkable. And so for me, when somebody decompresses and decompresses and decompresses and then kicks out into the field and starts to re-engage with the massive field in a decompressed state, the essence of who they are is at the core of that energy ball. Okay? Does that make sense? I actually never really quite explained it like this. And so here I am connecting up constantly with spirit and helping them transition. Usually it's quick deaths where they're just not ready. They are not ready. The motorcycle runs into a tree. Actually, twice that has found me. One day they're in the hospital and the next day, one day they're walking around, the next day and they're in a hospital because they had an aneurysm or a heart attack. And they pass really quickly. So quick deaths, or people who really are nervous about dying, somehow find me. And then I act as a bridge to help them transition while I'm also holding on to the person that, their beloved, their loved one that they're connected to. And by the way, this is also a soul contract. Every single person that I have helped with a death transition, their growth point is enormous because belief systems just start to blow up all over the place. And they then have to repurpose themselves. Well, how do I bring this into my here and now life? How do I bring it into my belief systems? How have my belief systems altered? How's my perception altered? And then you take it from you into how is this going to alter my relationships, right? It's a process of continually becoming. There isn't a day. I chop wood, carry water every single day. I might have the most extraordinary experiences and I still get up and I still chop wood and carry water, which looks like mindfulness practices. It looks like being patient, kind, aware, gentle with myself. I am human. I have made mistakes, and my humanness has made mistakes. And my sacred wound has reared its ugly head, and when it's pissed and gets defiant and gets defensive and and demands that it be honored or recognized or protects itself. and blames other people, or it is like these. So I'm going to raise my hand. I continually, every single day, chop wood, carry water, look at each of my relationships in my life as sacred. And I have had to work my butt off on some of them to find that ground that recognizes the divinity in others as much as I recognize the divinity in me. I can't be sitting here talking about me as a beautiful, divine, electromagnetic being that is connected to all things, a deep, beautiful part of the grid system out there that is, we're all connected. We all are connected. In our individuality, we are connected, and we come from one source, one heartbeat, one in breath, one out breath, one. So if we're all interconnected, and there is a reason and a purpose for the cycling back around, where we come into a life, we compress, eat, and we had planning time. I can do it on this round, or that I want to tackle this on this round. We had our group and our tribe who said, okay, I'll do this for you. And in you, I'll do this for you. And you in turn said to them, and I will do this for you. Okay, we've got an agreement, right? All right, some of those agreements include having children. Some of those agreements include starting businesses, like the basic things that make up life here. Some of these agreements include breaking cycles that are rough and tough. And that would look like abuse in many shapes and forms. It would look like war, right? The thing I know about the wars that are going on right now, it's a large community group. They just keep flipping it around and around and around. It's a certain part of the field. And until somebody makes a different decision, and then another person makes a different decision, and another one, wait a minute. I am you and you are me. When are we going to stop this cycle? Right? Yeah. This is where our heads kind of start to go, wait a minute, Chris, to slow down. I can understand it here within myself. Yeah, and I can see it in my relationship with my kids or my partner or my ex-husband or my ex-wife, my sister-in-law, my brother, my bestie. Yeah, my animals. My neighbor. How many of us have like neighbors that challenge us, right? They're an expression right there of our connection to reincarnation and soul contracts, right? All right, what are we doing? Are we doing it better this time around? Just that is the takeaway from this one conversation, which is so loaded, right? And yet I'm here all the time. Can we do it better this time around? What can we do better? What can we do better this time around? I want you guys to think about something, because when the mind starts going all like crazy, and it can't really slow down, take a deep breath and think this very simple thought. Right now, I'm okay. Right now, I'm okay. I'm breathing. Check. And my heart is beating. Yeah. In this moment, I'm okay. Yeah. Okay. And that helps you get a little more agency back into your quantum self. back into the center of you. Right now, I'm okay. Just check in. A lot of things are going on in everybody's life. I work as a seer full time, and that's why people pay me. They call me and they say, I'm in this crisis. I got this thing going on. Help me think through the best way to move forward, right? Whatever you guys have going on right now, whether it could, whatever it is, this is also a really helpful tool to say, you know what? Right now, in this present moment, this red hot second, I am okay. I'm breathing, and I'm pretty sure my heart's beating, right? Because all we have is this present moment, and it ties in with death, which it does. Welcome to my mind and how quickly it moves, and it brings like this ball together of, we don't know the moment that we're going to pass. Some of us might, but we don't know. And right now, I know in this moment I'm okay. And guess the bookend on that is, how are we doing with this soul contract? How can we do better? Can we do better? Can I do better? Can I mix this up? What can I do better? What have you done on other rounds of life? If we had access to the archives of our past lives, and we saw this repetitive theme that was working out in specific relationships in our lives, we would say, oh, whoa, we gotta knock that off. Oh my gosh. And if we saw, here's the thing here's a, spoiler alert. I've had so many dreams and connections to the planning time in my meditations. I've seen it. I've been there. I've been a part of it. I've witnessed it. Like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. And then snapshots that I've had of past lives. Well, you would see the repetition and you just do, okay. Like, now I'm embarrassed. Right. Because it's something so simple, you guys. It's simple in its, and I hope, oh golly, I'm doing okay. It's simple in the fact that if we have repressed or been repressed, if we need to forgive or be forgiven, then let's just do that. Get around to do that. If we need to love ourselves, really just get in there and honor ourselves. I am who I am. And at 60, I am going to just step out and live it and speak it and become it, fully transparent, without apology. Yeah, and that's what's going on right now here. And I will continue to do it, and I will continue to do it, and I will be an advocate for this, which is getting our butts around to forgiving, like taking our minds off of the blame and the shame and the, blaming or shaming, going out of our way, keeping our focus on, I'm going to just make sure you pay while the other, this is just this is an example, all right? Because these examples come in all shapes and forms. Yeah. It could be subtle. It could be passive aggressive, but there still is this, I'm going to shame you in some way. Oh yeah. And if we could have a dialogue back and forth of like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to shame you back, or I'm going to blame, oh yeah, well, I'm going to blame you back. It goes back and forth and back and forth. And we anchor into justification that our feeling center deserves homage of feeling like a victim or victimizing. I am justified to victimize somebody else because here's my drop down list, right? All right. If we saw the repetition in our relationships play out over and over again, you know what we would do? We would go, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to step up. I'm going to step up. I'm going to stop this. So if kids, brothers and sisters, you guys, listen. Life is a beautiful long journey, and we don't know when it's going to end. And yet, while you're here, even if somebody else can't have this conversation with you or receive your forgiveness or your love or your understanding and perception of soul contracts and the bonding that you have with them, you still can make a difference right here, right? You can make a difference in a way that releases them from judgment. It releases them from it releases them from your blame. And honestly, it releases you from victim and brings you home more to this moment that says, you know what? Right now, I'm okay. Right now, I'm breathing. Right now, I'm feeling. Right now, my heart's going. I'm okay. And that brings you more into your energetic agency. And then you can think better about how you're going to do something right there in that next second. And it causes you to think differently. It causes you to do differently. It causes you to like, wow, this feels a lot better. You know? Yeah? Okay. I haven't looked at anything, you guys. Yeah. I've got 2 screens going on. Yeah. Okay. So I'm at 3 minutes. Now listen, I'll keep talking about this. Oh, I've got a group healing. I've done these for the last 20 years. And I will put the link here in the chat room. It's also over on One to Listen on my homepage. It's a group call. I think at some point I'm going to move these to Zoom so you guys can see what this looks like when I go through a healing session. But it's tonight from 5 to 5:30, and it is just I have wonderful reviews that at some point I will share with you. So it helps with physical, emotional, mental, bringing all the, it's like taking a cheesecloth and just running it through your energy fields, the density of your energy fields, so that you feel better and you can think better. And lots of times I do this to put people to sleep because they can't fall asleep. I'm happy to do it, all right? So I love all of you. Thank you for being here with me. Stay tuned to All Things 1-2 Radio. I do believe Miss Katie Weaver is next in the lineup. Serena, you're going to have to tell me if that's any different. And guys, follow me on social. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I just have these little updates that are coming and going. And if you need a reading with me, you can find me over at 12listen.com. It's the number 12. We always say 1-2, but it's the number 12, the word listen.com. And I am there most days for you to help you with whatever you need, okay? All the loves, you guys. Until next week, we'll just keep talking about this. And I love you. And have a great day, kids. Bye.